It's another Panthers Pretend Draft. I am Demetri. This is all part of This Team is Killing Us here on the OG Triangle Media Network. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, please do that. You will see every time a new video goes up, whether it's from This Team is Killing Us, Ovius and Gilio, any of the other shows on the network. But for those of you that are not familiar with what I'm doing, every day leading up to the NFL draft, I'm doing a Panthers-centric mock draft. Sometimes we trade up. Sometimes we stay put. Sometimes we will trade back. I have an interesting strategy today that I'm going to try out to see what the effects are. And I'm gonna be right up front with you. I'm not planning to trade up. I'm not planning to trade back from that first pick. I'll look at what the offers are, but my plan is to take receivers at pick 33 and 39. We know this team needs weapons, and I just have started to be curious about if we prioritize weapons, what does that do to the rest of the draft? What are we going to have to give up in order to prioritize weapons at the very top? So understand, today's draft is a little bit of an experiment. So let's dive in right now. All right. So we, of course, are hanging out until pick 33. The last couple of days, we have ended up trading back and acquiring an extra first-round pick for 2025. Some of these programs that, again, we're using the Pro Football Network mock draft engine. Some of these programs are super realistic about how they do trades, and some of them, it's all about matching the the mock draft algorithm. So it's always interesting to see how this comes out. All right, as we come down to the end of round one, you know, the receivers I like are both there. So I'm going to start out with the guy that I've said is, I think, the best fit for Bryce Young in this draft, and that would be Xavier Worthy out of Texas. A little bit smaller than some of the receivers in here at 5'11", but he ran the fastest 40 ever at the Combine. We'll reject that trade. And look, as much as I said Xavier Worthy is best receiver for Bryce, I think Xavier Legette from South Carolina is the best receiver available to us, period. So he is pick number 39, and now we will hold tight until pick 65. So remember, I told you we were going to go receiver at the top to see what that means. We have to sacrifice the rest of the way. I am going to try and make a trade here because Zach Frazier is sitting on the board. I think center is one of our top needs. I just don't know how realistic it's going to be to move up 9 spots. And also, I don't want to give up a ton of picks. So let's see if they'll do a pick swap here. No. All right. We will make one more attempt with Dallas here. So I don't want to give up too many picks. So again, I'm going to try and do a pick swap, but I'm going to see if I can't sweeten the deal by throwing in an extra pick. Let's see. Yeah, we'll make it next year's pick. That'll make it a little easier. All right. So I'm going to let this play out because, and there goes Zach Frazier. I'm going to let this play out because I don't want to get taken. You know, I want to be able to be the one taking somebody. So here we go now at 65. We are offered a trade down, and I am intrigued here. Yeah, I'm intrigued by this one. If they will change up what that pick is. So let's see if they'll do this for 76 and 121. Okay, that gives us a higher pick on the back end and also keeps us in the third round here. Let's see. So now we've got a pick. Are we going to go center, which is going to require a reach? Are we going to go edge, which might require a reach as well? So I've been saying this in every mock draft. I would like to come away with a tight end. I don't think it is a necessity. Yeah, to get the best edge, we're going all the way down to Austin Booker, who is, number 97 on this list. The best offensive lineman available is Roger Rosengarten. I like him. I like everybody that came off of that Washington line this year. They won the Joe Moore Award, which is for the best offensive line in college football. So, look, even though I think we need a center more than a tackle, I'm going to take him because I don't think there is anything better for us out there than that right now. So we'll hold tight. We've got pick 101. This pick is coming up relatively soon. And now, look, we didn't reach on Austin Booker. We'll just reject this trade offer because, look, there is Austin Booker just waiting for us. Booker, I really liked. I do think that defense did not get enough credit for Kansas's resurgence this past year. We've taken him in previous mock drafts, and there's a reason. I think he's a super talented dude. I think there are tiers to edges this year. I like him. I don't like him to step in place of Brian Burns right away, but he's a valuable pickup for the Panthers. And now here we are at pick 121. And again, we're facing a situation where what we need is not necessarily compatible with who is there. So we may just be in a who is the best talent on the board kind of situation. Going for Jaheim Bell, a bit of a stretch here. I do like running backs, getting a running back, especially as the kickoff rules change, but I don't know about Dylan Lobb from New Hampshire. I know that there are a lot of scouts that are high on him, but I just have not seen much in terms of highlights. I'm going to go with James Williams, the linebacker out of Miami. Look, the Panthers defense got a lot of credit last season, and they deserved it. But I don't know realistically how much we could expect there to be carryover. There have been some big losses in terms of personnel, both in terms of quality and quantity. So we'll add a linebacker there. And at 141, as we scroll, I'll go back to what I said earlier. I think who's the best center right now? That feels like a reach. All right. So like I said earlier, I do think adding a running back matters because I think that the new kickoff rule where it becomes more like a play is going to require a returner with real field vision. So we'll take Marshawn Lloyd from USC, and we're going to accept that trade just to give us one more pick. I don't want our day to be done at 142. So now we have 162 and 176 to add a couple of more bodies there. And again, the problem here, so this is what the sacrifice was, right? In order to prioritize two weapons at the very top, look, there's Charles Turner is the best center available. We got him in the 7th round in the mock draft yesterday. So I'm not going to do that. Scrolling through, do we add either Jonah Ellis or Cedric Johnson? I don't know. Jaheim Bell, maybe at tight end. Why don't we see who's the best offensive lineman available? I'm going to go Garrett Greenfield, even though they have Ladarius Henderson rated higher. If we're taking offensive linemen that are not specifically centers, I want them to be tackles, a little bit more versatile talent and body type there. So we will add the South Dakota State tackle. And then look, we'll add a second edge here with the best player on the board in Jonah Ellis. And that wraps up our draft today. And look at what happened. We prioritized weapons, and I'm very happy with the two weapons we got at the top of the draft. I'm happy with adding Roger Rosengarten. I think that's a guy you can plug into the offensive line right away. I've said before, I like Austin Booker, but I don't feel great about this draft because by prioritizing weapons, we really sacrificed on adding people at multiple positions. 2 receivers in this draft, 2 edges in this draft, 2 tackles in this draft. So as a result, we couldn't, or at least I felt in good conscience, I could not address the needs in the middle of the offensive line without making a big reach here. So yeah, look, there it is. We got what we got. I don't feel like this is a big victory. But again, this is a mock draft. We're trying out all sorts of different scenarios every single day. But after trying this, I can definitively say, as we sit here and wait for the draft to end, I would not recommend the Panthers prioritizing 2 wide receivers with their first 2 picks. The actual first round of the draft, by the way, April 25th, we will do a live watch along on YouTube, especially for that second night when the Panthers are actually picking. But there is the end of our draft. Real quick, we will recap what those trades were, just so you can see what it is we gave up to move. In hindsight, I don't really love the deal we did here for Denver to move up to get Michael Penix, but that's how we got Rosengarten and James Williams. And then this was the trade with San Francisco, where we dropped back in order to pick up 2 more bodies in Garrett Greenfield and Jonah Ellis. So remember, like, subscribe. It is how more people will go about finding the show, and come back tomorrow when we do another Panthers Pretend Draft here as part of This Team is Killing Us.